Well, welcome everyone. This is Mike Keenan from KM Fitness. I'm here today with Doreen Bridgman. How are you
Hello.
today?
I'm good, thanks.
In her beautiful back sunroom here, better than my location. And today, let me introduce who Doreen is. Of course, Doreen is a speech and language pathologist, and she's also known online as the Cognitive Coach. So I want to welcome you to Fitness Friday here on Unleashing Your Body's Potential.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
So today we're going to be talking about something that I'm not very familiar with, and I'm sure a lot of our viewers don't know much about, and it's called cognitive reserve. What exactly is cognitive reserve?
Cognitive reserve is your brain's ability to maintain your current level of cognitive functioning even when there's some level of pathology that has been impacting your brain.
Mm-hmm.
So whether it be an illness or an injury, it's what allows us to keep doing what we do on a daily basis without interruption.
Okay, so kind of like the athletes that are getting concussions.
Yes, so the more cognitive reserve you have, the more you can maintain your current level of functioning when you are in situations where you've sustained an injury. So for example, somebody may have a concussion but still be able to go about their normal day, whereas somebody else may sustain what looks like a very similar concussion, but because their cognitive reserve is not at that level, they notice differences and they may need to either simplify their schedule, they may find that they're having difficulty at work, it may take them longer to get their tasks done. But if you have that higher level of cognitive reserve, you may go through the concussion uninterrupted.
So in a physical model, you could say like two people have to lift a 100-pound couch, but one person may only be able to lift 100 pounds, but someone can lift 150 pounds. Therefore, they would have a larger physical reserve. Can we use that kind of analogy?
And if you think about, most of us have, try and put money in savings, right? In case, God forbid, we have to miss work or something unexpected happens.
Right.
So if you have two people and one person has $5,000 in their reserve and somebody else has $1,000 and both lose their jobs, you know that the person with $5,000 is going to be able to sustain their lifestyle longer than the person with $1,000.
Okay, well that makes perfectly good sense to me. Now, when I was coming up through school back in the Stone Ages learning anatomy and physiology, we were told at that point in time that you were born with a certain amount of brain cells, and you slowly would lose them over time. And of course, drinking copious amounts of alcohol through college, we killed them a little faster. But we were never told that you could actually rebuild your cognitive reserve. Can you tell us a little bit about that and how that is even possible?
Well, right. So the science, when I was in school back in the day too, was the same. Basically, we believed that you had what you had when you were born, and you developed it to a certain level, and then you were going to gradually lose it as you aged. Okay. In the 80s, what the neuroscientists were finding is they were doing some research and doing autopsies, and they were coming upon brains that showed signs of advanced Alzheimer's, but people didn't report any cognitive decline in their day-to-day life. Okay. So that's what led to the discovery of cognitive reserve. And so now we found there's what's called neuroplasticity, which is your brain's ability to create new pathways. And neurogenesis is actually new cells being born. So the idea of you have it when you're born and that's it has now been disproven, which is good news for all of us.
Absolutely. So what kind of, what can we do specifically that the viewers at home can do to help to build their cognitive reserve? What techniques can you use?
So cognitive reserve is built on things like gaining a higher level of education. And it doesn't have to be formal education. We were just talking in the brain health class on Monday. We had one of our members who said, I've always wanted to play chess. So we were encouraging her to learn how to play chess. And not only learn how to play by herself, but we encouraged her to create a meetup. So there's certain factors like socialization helps increase cognitive reserve. Nutrition helps increase cognitive reserve. Physical activity creates cognitive reserve. being outside in nature, which is why I love this room, because it's a very natural environment, has plants, natural sunlight. Listening to music. So there's a lot of different things that you can do to increase your cognitive reserve, and the goal is, honestly, you want to continue to do that throughout your lifetime. So whether you're in your 40s or your 50s or your 60s or in your 20s, the more cognitive reserve you build, the more you are building for your future. Just like, we all think about putting money into our bank accounts.
True.
You need to think about putting money into your brain account.
Right. And of course, while we're in the process of doing all those healthy tasks, are there certain things that you have found that are very detrimental that people do on a day-to-day basis towards their cognitive reserve?
Yeah, so stress is definitely detrimental to cognitive reserve. So we want to think about, where's our stress coming from? What changes can we make? If somebody's nutritional habits are poor, meaning they're not eating what they need to eat, they're not getting their vitamins and nutrients, or they're eating too much of, let's say, sugar or other inflammatory foods, you want to think about, what can my plan be to reduce that? For somebody who's sitting all day, you want to think about, how can I increase my physical activity? Some people now say, well, I have a standing desk at work. Hey, that's great, but you're still in the same position all day long. Right. So you need to be able to move. You need to think about your range of motion. If you find that you are isolated, right now with the coronavirus, people are all staying home, which is fine. So you can get on your, FaceTime with people, though, and as soon as the epidemic is reduced, get back out and be social.
So, in the context of what we do here with Unleashing Your Body's Potential, we're always talking about optimal nutrition. Doreen, do you use the ID nutrition, and what value do you see in helping someone with their cognitive reserve and or brain health?
I do, because I think, like the average person, I cannot eat all of the nutrients that I need, so I need to supplement. So I did take the assessment, and I am on, a vitamin and nutrient plan. I find that my energy level is definitely better. And so I would recommend to people, if you are not able to get all of your nutrients, which again, most of us cannot, take the assessment and see how you would benefit.
All right, fantastic. Well, I want to thank you for being my guest again this week. This is the second time we've done this, and every time we get together, I learn a little bit more. So look forward to seeing everyone again next Friday. I think I'll be the special guest next week, but I would like to have Doreen come back, about once a month and give us an update on brain health. And I know we have a chance to talk a whole lot, so I'm soaking in it as well. I want to thank you again, and I want to wish all our viewers a happy Friday, happy, healthy Fitness Friday, and have a great weekend. Take care.
Thanks, Mike. Bye-bye.